Welcome to it, sports fans. It is Monday, the 26th of April, the fourth month. The Taurus month starts now, sometime, I think. For those of you that believe that, you know, the position of the moon, the stars, blah, blah, blah. So good luck to all of you if you are a bull, if you think a bull running around somewhere in some mythological world actually affects your personality. Does not justify you being a horrible person. I hope you've had a great weekend with people that are not horrible. I'm MKT, the MKT Show. Welcome to it. I am with James Illingsley, big influencer, big beard guy, glasses guy. James, what's happening?
Hi, how you doing?
I'm very good. How's your
Very
weekend?
good.
Yeah.
My weekend was good. My team threw it away.
Oh, it's tough.
But outside of that, good weekend. Good weekend.
Oh, it's tough, because you probably... By the way, James, massive Liverpool fan.
Not sure why anymore.
So you thought, oh, we've done it. We've beaten Liverpool. Or we've beaten Newcastle. And then VAR cheated Newcastle. And then you thought, oh, we've done it. We've really done it. And then Joe Willock. Are you kidding me?
He did break a lot of hearts, I can tell you that much.
That's tough. It's a tough way to lose. Must have felt like a loss.
It
gut
did,
sack.
actually. It's one of those games where it genuinely does feel like a loss. Even though it was, you got 1 point out of it.
Yeah. Oh, that was... Man, that was tough. Were you watching it alone?
I was,
With
yeah.
your family, lady?
Yeah. No,
Just-
I was watching it
you at
alone
home?
and then I cried myself to sleep afterwards.
Yeah, that was tough because it was the early game as well.
It was.
That is the tough fixture to get with your team, right? If you guys are going to lose, it's 1 o'clock on a Saturday. That's your whole weekend gone. Do you know what I mean?
Pretty much. It's like
It tints everything. Even if you won the lotto, it'll be
Yeah.
like, oh man, we 97th minute, kick in the gut sack though.
You know what it is? It's like you find out that you have the early game. So you're like, yeah, you don't have to wait long until your game is on for the weekend. But then when you lose or draw like we did, does put a damper on the entire weekend.
Tough. So
Yeah.
what did you do on Sunday?
Nothing much actually.
Yeah, 'cause
Just a bit of work stuff.
That's because Liverpool lost, huh? Or drew.
Well, yeah, nothing much besides crying.
Giving up on the top four, or you clinging in there, Jurgen Klopp?
I think it's done, hey?
James, you look a little bit like Jurgen Klopp. If he was a lot, obviously poor, like you know, we work in media, no money in media, South African media. So you're poor, but you got the beard thing going, the douchebag glasses, and hey, one thing you do have that's great, mad hair, great flow there, James.
I do have pretty great hair.
Am I the first person to ever compliment your hair?
No, you're not. It is getting a bit long though, so
Do you like that? Are you into it? You share hair products with your girlfriend?
no.
Some people do that.
I'm not super into hair products. I'm more into like creams and stuff
For what?
for like your face.
Oh, okay. Hey, James, you're a handsome guy. Listen, I am not shy of compliments for people when it's deserved. You are a handsome guy, and there's nothing you should be ashamed of there. Good for you. So you look after it, huh? Some cream for the beard, cream for the face.
No, not for the beard.
Yeah, cream for the hands.
Cream for the hands. I have cream in my car that I take with me.
Metrosexual, huh?
I was about to say I'm very
Hey, nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. Hey, for all the haters out there, it's probably all the single guys who no one cares about them. James is rocking it with a beautiful lady, beautiful family, rubbish football club. I mean,
Look,
but
you
silky
have
soft hands.
exactly. You have to have some aspects in your life where you are not winning, like the football club I support. But outside of that,
Oh, just great hands, soft hands, silky hands.
yeah.
Good for you. It's got the. Do you know you have the hands of an accountant. Never known a hard day's work in his life. Good for you, James. James, good to have you here, pal.
Nice to be here.
Good to have you here. Your beard's looking great. And what an awesome weekend for the Premier League. Obviously, the ESL, all the blowback from that. So obviously, that came out. I mean, we saw Arsenal fans, Liverpool fans, Chelsea fans again. They were at it. So what did you think of that, huh?
Did you see what the Man United fans were
I
doing?
did see that.
They burnt the American flag,
I
which
did see
thought
that.
was a very ballsy move.
By the way, crime in America, burning the American
Yeah.
flag. I'm not sure if you know that. In fact, in some states, to let an American flag hit the ground is still a
Really?
faux pas. Yeah, to actually drop an American flag actually is like, oh, Yeah, that's further south in America.
I did see the headline and the image of that whole thing, and it.
How are you feeling about that?
I'm just thankful it wasn't Liverpool fans, if I'm honest. But I think it's intense. It shows. People are.
Football matters, dude. Football matters beyond the money. Football matters.
In the UK, I also saw that for the first time in a while at the Carabao Cup final, there were fans, which was cool to see.
It's such a game changer. Like
It is.
You don't think about it until you see them again. Like there was a moment where Kyle Walker got given stick by the fans, right? Like obviously you're hoping it's never like racist, homophobic, but part of the football thing again. You know, everybody always says the working man, the working class.
Sure.
Listen, I come from a working class family. It's not going to be your hoity-toity, let's be nice to each other things that are said by the working man. You know, it's almost, for me, it's a sign of respect amongst where I come from, amongst the working class people I know. You rib each other, right? It's a little bit of, like, if I'm nasty to you, and people are never nasty if they don't respect you.
That is true.
Nobody heckles a rubbish player. If you left and you're rubbish, nobody heckles you. It's a part of the fabric of football, right? When Kyle Walker got heckled and the fans were giving it to him properly, because remember, he's a former Tottenham player, right? Loved it. I thought, yes, football's back. And you know what? I think some players miss that.
I think so. I think
it's not the abuse. Like once it gets ugly and it gets, you know, your mum, you're this. And even that, some players, I think, especially if you're British working class, the Brits have a way with banter and, you know, again, entangled within banter is respect. Again, they're not going to heckle. If you're rubbish, nobody's going to heckle you.
No.
Don't worry about it. But Kyle Walker been given a hard time, the fans, the passion, and quite frankly, I like it when it goes a little bit over the top in some of the foul language. I like it. And also, could the commentator stop apologizing for bad language? I absolutely hate that. What is this? Please, we know what's happening. And maybe, hey, Sky, have a family channel option where, you know, you can't hear some of the language or whatever.
But can you predict that?
Or sorry, I don't know, you can't hear the mics. Maybe turn the mics off, because that's going to happen. Family option, you can't hear the mics on the field. Non-family option, let her rip.
You think so?
I love it.
Speaking of the heckling stuff, just to go back to it real quick, have you seen that image of John Terry where he had scored a goal for Chelsea against West Ham, and he was celebrating in front of the fans, and two of the guys that were giving him a hard time were his
fake picture.
Wait,
fake
really?
news, fake news. Although so you know he's a West Ham graduate.
Yes.
Everybody, yeah. So his family are West Ham fans, and listen, his father, not the greatest, by the way. Let's not get into that whole thing. But no, fake picture. I've seen it. Not his real brother, and but he did say he'd seen him, but that picture's not actually them. I know the picture you're talking about, but he said he has seen it.
But just that whole thing of like,
that's awesome.
Your brother-in-law, whatever it was, I can't remember, like standing in the fans, and even though that's a family member, you're still.
So I love it, because in our country, one of them, probably the biggest club in Africa right now, is Sundowns, right? And famously owned by Patrice Motsepe. His father is known as one of the most prominent Orlando Pirates fans. So it's well known that it gets awkward. Like 2 weeks ago, Mamelodi Sundowns, for those of you that aren't from South Africa, beat Orlando Pirates, which is arguably the biggest club in the country. If you're a Chiefs fan, you might argue that. But anyway, that's a moment in the Motsepe family. So I do like it when that happens. I do like it. It's like Jamie Carragher, Everton fan, had an Everton tattoo on his arms. I think he still has it. Oh no, I've made the Liverpool team.
He?
Oh no, real thing.
He had an Everton.
No, he's an Evertonian.
Wow.
I'm telling you, a real thing. Football's great for this, huh?
Wow.
Oh, real thing.
I had no idea.
Yeah, I've just, by the way, folks, James, investor in Liverpool. I've just seen it, what his face did when I told him that information. Real thing. And I think he still has the tattoo. He was arguing about removing it. I think he still has an Everton tattoo on his arm. I stand to be corrected on that. And that's not a joke, by the way.
Is it just like the badge?
I wish people could see James's face right now. It looks like, honestly, it looks like I've just told James that he was adopted.
I am shook.
It sounded like your face. It looked like I just told you that you're adopted right now.
A whole cult hero.
A real thing. Jamie Carragher. Football's a great thing. Great to have football back, and great to have the fans back. All right, Jimbo, We're a sports show, as I do every Monday. We'll start off with where I was right, where I was wrong. We'll talk about the 50+1 rule in England, and then we'll get into social media with James. Looking forward to it. James, good to have you. Let's have a strong week. Tomorrow is a holiday in the Republic of South Africa. Before we get started, we will not have a show tomorrow. We'll just, you can share this show. We'll be back on Wednesday.
I do look forward to our Monday shows.
Yeah,
I do.
It's good.
Our Monday shows are good.
Yeah, nice to get up and at 'em. You know what I'm saying?
Got to get out the bed.
Yeah.
With our 2 feet and
1 foot at a time.
There you go.
Get down the mine, hey James, with your all creamed up hands.
My
L'Oreal hands. the hands of an accountant, James Illingsley. All right, James, let's get into it.
Some people say the hands of an angel, but yeah. Anyway,
nobody's saying that. Let's actually. Unbelievable. Okay, every Monday I am humble. A lot of people saying probably the most humble person I know. Give me some of that music there, James. People say, is he the most humble man alive? Possibly. I don't know.
You?
Yeah.
I mean, look, you have your moments.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put myself in the category that calls you the most humble man alive, but look, each to their own, eh?
Hey, don't need to be humble to be honest. Listen, in order to be credible, you got to be able to admit when you're wrong, and I'm humble enough to do that. So, as we do every week, MKT, where MKT was right, where MKT was wrong. Let me start off where I was right. Listen, I told you, in a fight, a great big one will always beat a great smaller one. Now, at that level, at that echelon, right, 1% makes a difference. Usman, are you kidding me? Street Jesus, lights out. I said it only because I looked at the metrics. I think he's about 5 centimeters taller was Usman, and good night nurse. I was dead right there. I predicted it. And listen, it doesn't take away from Street Jesus, right? Masvidal, still world class, still worldy, will still get great fights, probably do another one. It'll sell. I'll watch it. I don't watch UFC, but when 2 great ones fight, I'll watch it. They're both awesome, and I wish boxing would get back to this like it was in the 90s and noughties. The greats must fight the greats. Somebody has to win. It's a warrior sport. Congratulations to both of them, but I did say Usman. Oh, are you kidding me? That's straight right. My goodness gracious me. Street Jesus is going to have to get that jaw reconstructed. That was brutal. I was right there. Usman delivers. Where I was wrong, Newcastle are going to survive. Lord have mercy. Steve Bruce brought in some new coach guy who I've not heard of. It could have been a pumpkin farmer before this. Would never have known. Brought him in. They look like a different team. They're pressing higher. There's some energy in that team. And I'll tell you what. If I'm Steve Bruce, right, you've got to commend men and women when they're able to do this. Because Steve Bruce is a legend in 2 places. There are very few people on earth, right, who are a legend in more than one place, country. He's a legend in Newcastle. But if anything, he's a bigger legend in Manchester. His boyhood club is Newcastle. He's living out the dream. And folks, for so many of us, they say never meet your heroes, never live out your dreams. Because sometimes our dreams turn into nightmares. And it looked like it was going that way. The humility with his sort of aura in Newcastle, the humility to say, I need help. He got the help. Newcastle up the tune. They're going to survive. I was wrong. I said they were going down because it looked like they were just on a slippery slope. And listen, Steve Bruce has that background with the enemy, of course, Sunderland. So, hey, I was wrong. Newcastle are going to survive. Phil Barelowitz, shout out to you, my brother. He's a big Newcastle fan, and I would have never seen this coming. Newcastle are going to survive. And I was wrong. Where I was right, Spurs lost. They're a loser organization and they lost. Why'd you sack Jose Mourinho? Makes no sense. And I don't just mean for the final. Why'd you sack him at all? You're in a position to win. And I'll tell you what, Jose gives them a better chance than Mason. Mason did a nice job. But sorry, you cannot want to win without a manager. A winning manager. He's got pedigree, he's got results. And I know everybody's upset. What about the style of football? Get the hell out of town. We want to win. Spurs act like they West Ham with this history of entertaining football and blowing bubbles. Rubbish. It's very much an 80s Aussie RD-less thing. Before that, Spurs would... Folks, listen. Don't call me biased. As a junior, they paid for me to go to the United Kingdom and kick a ball around. So I do have a special place in my heart for them, but they're a loser organization. And you are what you are. I'm sorry. You fired Jose and expect to win. Of course they lost. No manager. Jose Mourinho should have kept him. Gave you a chance over the next 2-3 years. Learn how to win. Loser organization. Where I was wrong, I thought Raheem Sterling was gone from Pep's plans. But he started him in the final. Raheem had some game, huh? Listen, now, the confidence seems to be gone, but Raheem still had a game and a half. He was an absolute terror for Aurier. I mean, Aurier's Aurier, but Sterling was unbelievable. Jinking left, jinking right, and really getting Alderweireld out of position as well. Man, for me, Sterling, man of the match. To have the confidence and the balls to come back in a big final and deliver after you know things aren't perfect with the manager, after you know the manager's had things to say about you, and you know Pep's one of the most demanding people on planet Earth. Raheem, big balls to come back in the final and deliver like that. Well played. Where I was right. Folks, the Rainbow Cup's no good. Any business that's out there right now, two things. If an app can replace what you do for a living now, pivot. Pivot now. You don't need to wait 10 years to be redundant. Right? But more importantly, if your business model, and we've all been shown this, I know it's brutal, but if you're in business and your business does not work when there is a pandemic, folks, another pandemic will come. It may not be biological, but another travel restriction, give it 20, 30 years, it will come. If your business doesn't work in a pandemic, it does not work. I'm sorry, it's awful that people have lost jobs. But what's shown us is our house was built on the sand economically. We need new ways to create work. The Rainbow Cup's a terrible idea, and they're persisting with it. Folks, it's like a drill to the head. It's unbelievable. SA Rugby, International Rugby, what are you doing? The Rainbow Cup, if it cannot work in a pandemic, but I was right. It's a bunch of amateurs. It's a bunch of amateurs running World Rugby. Love me or hate me. Listen, I love rugby. I'm a butt. I'm a South African boy. Rugby is in my blood. It is in our fabric. It unites this country, whether you like it or not. One of the most historic moments in modern society, 1995, a Rugby World Cup. Rugby is a part of the fabric of South Africa trying to heal. I love rugby. It breaks my heart to see what is happening there. It's a terrible idea. And there are other ways to do this. By the way, there's billionaires everywhere. It's not about the money. SA Rugby doesn't want to work to build a business model. That's why. But I was right. Rainbow Cup. Look at this now. That's going to be another year. Could have just called it the Curry Cup, really. Oh, man, what a joke. I was dead right. Breaks my heart. Sometimes you hate to be right. Like where I was wrong. Listen, Formula 1, Verstappen, Hamilton. It's a real thing now. Am I going to watch every Formula 1 race? Don't be an idiot. Got better things to do. But it's on now. It's a great sport. And again, you know what? I'm a guy's guy. I'm a meathead, folks. I am not an intellectual. And I will never pretend to be. I'm a meathead. Things going fast around the track, it appeals to a part of me. But when you got two alphas competing, are you kidding me? Sign me up. By the way, Formula 1, shout out the Formula 1 app. The best app going right now. You don't even need to like Formula 1. Just go and get the app. And I'm not sponsored by the Formula 1. They are not part of the show. They don't even know who I am. Best app going in sports right now. Verstappen, Hamilton, are you joking? Formula 1's back, baby. And I was wrong. I thought it was dead. I thought it was tiddlywinks. Hamilton, Verstappen. The game is alive. Love it. I love it. I'm not going to watch every race. Forget it. Forget it. But I'll certainly stay tuned now. This Dutch boy versus Sir Lewis Hamilton. It's on. Where I was right, Liverpool are dead. Liverpool are dead. I said at the beginning of the season, 2 seasons you fall off a cliff. Sorry, it's not to say that, again, Jurgen Klopp, I love him. I love him. He's everything you want. If you're a football fan, he's the dream. He's connected to the fans. He understands the philosophy of the club. And he doesn't come in a suit. Right? That has its place. But he's the working class guy. If I'm a football fan, that's the gaffer. Hey, that's the guy you want to see at the pub, have a drink with. But my God, he's also the manager of my football club. Doesn't Jurgen feel like that? I think actually there were videos where he did buy fans. He popped in a pub and he bought them beers. But folks, sometimes it's not your fault. Personality types wear environments down. That's not Sadio Mane, folks. That's not Sadio Mane. Something's going on there. Jurgen, it's been great, but Liverpool are dead. It's over now. The cycle's over. Listen, big decisions to be made. You reset with Jurgen, it's another 3-4 year cycle before you win again if you're Liverpool. But I was right, they are dead. Couldn't beat Newcastle with VAR doing you a massive favour that 92nd minute. Massive favour. Liverpool are dead. Where I was wrong, Edinson Cavani is for real. The movement, the touch, the awareness in the box. He takes Man United to another level because what they do have is that counter-attack, but sometimes it's like a headless chicken, right? Rashford and Greenwood and Bruno, they all want to run everywhere. Cavani, the movement's efficient. He's not all over the place. He knows where to be. And folks, it's a skill. Ruud van Nistelrooy had the skill. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank had the skill. The ball, they always seem to be where the ball is. It's a skill. It's not luck. There is no such thing as luck in life as far as I'm concerned. It's a skill. And Fox of the box is a real thing. And Cavani's world class. His movement, his first touch in the box, and his ability to shoot without looking at the box. First touch finishing. Skill. Knows exactly where the ball is. Knows exactly where the goal is. Knows exactly where the keeper is. 1, 2, 3. Good night, nurse. Edinson Cavani's for real, folks. And if he's fit next season, Man United are going to be a problem because they will add to that midfield. You maybe take Pogba out of there, you get yourself a box-to-box machine. Uh-oh. Greenwood will come on another year. You can see what he's doing. Rashford's Rashford. He's old, reliable. They're a real team. Now, they get a killer in the box, and Cavani's that. Problems. Problems next year for all you ABUs. They keep Cavani fit. He stays another year. It sounds like he wants to leave. But I was wrong. He's for real. Where I was right, Pep Guardiola is the best manager of all time. I've said this before. And he's the best by a long way. He's the best by a long way. The criticism was always he could come to England and he'll never dominate. He won the 4th League Cup yesterday. He's going to win his 3rd trophy in 5 years. 3rd league trophy in 5 years. In about, next week? Because Liverpool probably go and hammer United. And Man City will be crowned champions again. Same old story. He's brilliant. Germany dominated. Spain dominated. England dominated. They might get to the Champions League final. Folks, just give it up. This guy's brilliant. And no, he doesn't need to prove anything. He doesn't need to go and work with Wolves to prove he's a great coach. I've always said, environments where he has the best players, you don't need to coach Phil Foden. You don't need to coach Leo Messi, folks. How do you motivate them? They're already great. How do you get inside Messi's head every single day and say, go and deliver? You don't need to tell Leo Messi where to be. Tell you what great players want is they want to be coached and challenged. How do you challenge Bernardo Silva, right? Mahrez, Kun Aguero? You got to be great. You got to be next level. This guy is the next level, unmatched. If he stayed at Man City for as long as Fergie was at United, are you kidding? Folks, Pep is the king. Let it go now. He doesn't need to prove anything. He's the greatest of all time. And it's actually not close now. He's starting to separate himself from everyone. Finish off with where I was wrong. It makes me sad to say I was wrong here because I like to think I'm positive. I like to believe in people. But mankind, the worst side of us has come out. We have actively voted for UEFA and FIFA to control football. What are we, stupid? We've actively voted. We hate the billionaires. We hate them. We love UEFA. We love FIFA. We love them. Let's give football back to them. Let's give it back to them because Sepp Blatter wasn't enough. See, in Qatar, not enough. What more you got for us? Let's go back for more punishment. You know, I'm in this horrible relationship with my girlfriend or boyfriend. You know what I want to do? I want to go back there. I don't have enough emotional abuse. And you know what? People change. It's only 25 years of FIFA being corrupt and crooked. They'll change. You know what? Now they care about the people. And now they're not like the billionaires. They're not. No. Seferin, they're going to give football back to the people. They're going to force every club to be fan-owned. They're going to... UEFA, so clean. Next World Cup in Qatar, let me tell you what, that's a house built on the rocks, huh? A house built on the rocks. It's perfect. It was transparent how they got the deal. America, everyone in America loves football. Of course the World Cup should go to America. It's got nothing to do with money. UEFA and FIFA, perfect. All perfect. I was wrong. People are stupid. People are. Sorry. Listen, you got what you wanted now. For all people that keep telling me the billionaires are bad for football, you got what you wanted. And you voted for FIFA and UEFA. What's hilarious to me is FIFA and UEFA have already shown you what they are. You have no clue where Florentino Perez was taking the game. Nobody has a clue. But at least he knew it was about money. What's it about with UEFA and FIFA? I never know. The goalposts are always shifting with these guys. When South Africa lost the World Cup bid, the country wasn't ready. All right, the Scottish guy, turns out they got paid and they got a couple of watches. Infantino and his lot, they got a couple of watches. All right, but Infantino survives. Blatter gets the chop. All right, so it's about the politics. No. Qatar can buy a World Cup. Okay, so it's about the money. Whoa. But this is what you voted for. I was wrong. People are stupid. I was wrong. And people continue to riot. People continue to line up outside the stadiums. And they've chosen FIFA. Folks, in every decision you make in your life, be accountable. Be accountable. So we must all be accountable. And I'm in, by the way. I'm a football fan. I don't want to separate myself. So I must say, we have chosen FIFA. We have chosen UEFA. Because by voting against the billionaires, you vote with FIFA and UEFA. So I was wrong. I love people. People they're incredible. They're kind. They're sweet. But they're also dumb. We are dumb. We are dumb. I was wrong. People. I'll get you, huh, Jimbo? People will get you. And people are dumb. And I am people. No, it's what we want. It's what we wanted, right? We got what we wanted now. Back to UEFA, back to FIFA. We got it.
Do you think anything's going to change or no?
No.
Not a chance.
People don't change.
A cheetah never changes its spots.
Sure. Cheetah never change. But here's the problem. Is systemically, it's FIFA and UEFA are so sick that people at UEFA now only know that way of operating. The only way to clean out UEFA and FIFA, you'd literally have to fire everybody.
God.
Oh my God,
Literally.
you guys. Yeah. You'd have to literally fire everyone. It's the only way to purge it.
Yeah, I do think there's a huge systemic issue that's, like you say, wrong with FIFA and UEFA. I mean, you get rid of Sepp Blatter, and then you get the next person that takes his place is also corrupt, and then the next person that takes...
who was there? Infantino was sitting in the rooms with Jerome Falca and Sepp Blatter. Seferin was sitting in the rooms with Platini and these people. So this is not like they got somebody from the outside who was running an investment bank in Yemen.
Yeah.
No. These are people that were in on the game.
We're going to use the same people.
Yeah. By the way, Infantino never thought of maybe telling us about the Qatar thing while you were there in the rooms, the deals being made? No. No, he played a political game so he could be president. This is what you're dealing with. This is what we've chosen. I don't understand people.
It's like SAFA on a larger scale.
Nothing's like SAFA. I mean, I'd hate to insult. Infantino is as intelligent as the entire SAFA board.
Oof.
He played the world. Infantino played the world. He was there and somehow managed to convince us all that he's clean. While he abided and aided and... Are you telling me it didn't get to him how Qatar got this World Cup? Be honest. Can we all just be honest? Did nobody know that Michel Platini was selling French football, PSG? Why would Qatar come and buy PSG? Why would they want that? They've got all the money in the world already.
Just a bunch of good guys that want to play football.
Just a bunch of good guys, huh? Just want to see the lads running around.
Yeah. Just want to see the boys. I don't know. Look, You see, it's like a catch-22 situation, because as much as I was against the Super League and everything that the Super League was, it's like now we have to go back to that, like you say, that toxic ex.
For me, I always, you know, I don't mind people being ugly to me, as long as you do that up front. That's what I like about the billionaires. Is I'm never wondering. I wonder for Infantino, does he care about me as a football fan? I mean, Perez or the Glazers. No, it's very clear to me, because in life we are the things we do, not the things we say. So if you're an Arsenal fan, if you're a Man United fan, it's very clear. It's about the money. Okay, awesome. I know where I stand now. Now if I get upset, it's on me. For me, with the FIFA, I never know where I stand with FIFA. That's my problem. These politicians, you know, they play these games. The problem with going back, guys, and I want to use a brutal example. I've spoken to abuse victims, and they keep going back to that cycle. I've always, you know, I know 2 people who have been in abusive relationships. And I said, why did you go back? She said, I didn't know another way. Eventually you get stuck and convinced that I deserve this. There's something wrong with us. We're saying we deserve UEFA and FIFA. That's what we're saying about, what does that say about us? What does that say about us football fans?
I've never thought about it that way.
Because my thing is this. For 1 second, let's put aside the ESL, the European Soccer League, and how we feel about that.
Right.
Just what about knowing where someone stands in a relationship? Right? You've been upset with your girlfriend before, and your girlfriend's been upset with you, right? Or your mom. You know, let's use a family example. Your mom says, no, but that's not what you said, James. Or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know why people get upset? It's when what you said and what you do, the size of the gap in those 2 things, that gap is how people get upset, is why they're upset. If you say to your girlfriend, next Saturday, we're going to the market for breakfast, and then you say, on Friday night, you tell her, no, I'm going for drinks with the boys. I'm sure you've been in this situation. How does she react?
Not great.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, with UEFA, that's my problem. What they say and what they deliver. The gap's too big. With billionaires, they have always been consistent. You do not matter. You are a customer. It's all about the money. Great. Let's move from there. Let's move from there. Then I know where I'm standing. You know what? Then at least I have the choice to say, you know what? I want to go spend my money in the championship. I'm gonna watch League One football. Right? And listen, I understand. Arsenal, Man United fans, again, there's a level of deception which I think people felt because they love their football clubs, and the billionaires know this. They'll play the people, right? The billionaires know how much we love football. People love football more than their own wives, and that I'm not exaggerating. For me, I've said before, football is the most important thing in the world to me. Oh, when you lie to me about my football club, it slaps a little different. It's a little deeper than... It's not just about the money, right? But at least you were consistent as the billionaires. It's just about the money. That's why you lied to me. We wanted to make bucks.
Yeah, but it doesn't soften the blow. I mean, you know, everyone knew that this was a money thing. ESL. Everyone knew it was a money thing. Outside of ESL, everyone knows that, you know, the past couple of World Cup bids are questionable.
Yeah.
But it doesn't soften the blow. It's
what doesn't soften the blow? The fact that billionaires are all about money.
The fact that we know it's all about money.
Listen, I would say this, and I totally agree with you. But having said that, what I would say is, you know, if you upset somebody, if you tell your girlfriend bad news, your mom, you tell her bad news, but at least you're honest, they'll get over it. If you say, Mom, I'm moving out because I'm not happy about 1, 2, 3, it'll upset her. But at least you are honest. She'll get over that. Now, if you say to your mom, I'm moving out because of ABC, she finds out 3 months later it's about EDF. Wait a minute now. That's, for me, it's, the billionaires are honest. We just don't hear it. We want to keep believing that, it's about the romance. And no, the billionaires are telling you, guys, this thing's about money the whole time. What do you think the Glazers are telling you? Paul Pogba, Adidas, it's about money. It's just that we don't listen because we idealize the romance, right? I can live with billionaires because I know to them I am just a customer. To UEFA, I'm never sure because they try to play the romance angle with me, but it's clear now. Like Qatar, it's so clear what you people are. Sepp Blatter, it was so clear. It's not about me as the football fan.
So let me ask you a question. Okay?
Yeah.
So, majority of football fans, if not every single football fan,
Mm-hmm.
knows that FIFA and UEFA are immoral. It's corrupt.
To be
immoral.
kind. To be kind, they're immoral. Yes.
Okay. So, outside of thinking of an ideal world where it would be fire them all, start a new FIFA, UEFA with people that are moral, what would you say the real world solution to this problem would be? Because obviously, like I say, ideal world, fire them all, get them all out, everyone involved, absolutely everyone. Let's start from scratch. Let's go from there. What would a real world solution be to this whole thing?
To UEFA or to club football?
UEFA and FIFA.
For me, chop it in half. There's too many administrators in world football. So I'd also like every single football association's bank details should be transparent. I should know how much the English FA has in their account, where it's going, who makes that decision, by the way, with that money, who makes the decision for the head of FA to donate certain money to a certain county. I want to know those things. That for me. So slash the administrators in half. Let's get it electronic, but everybody should the money should be transparent because FIFA is not a business. It is if it is a game of the people. Why can't I know? Even if it's $9 trillion, and I know that it's going to get sick because FIFA is supposed to be a game of the people, and oh no, there's poor people. But okay, let's just say we're in whatever. FIFA, if they have $9 trillion sitting in their accounts, why can't I know as a football fan? Why are they hiding it from me? Why don't I know how much money is coming from every bid? Who put the money in? What does the money look like? How does the money move? I should be able to see the money at FIFA and UEFA all of the time, not some of the time, all of the time, because they aren't Tesla. I don't want to see it's none of our business how Elon Musk decides to pay who, what he spends his money on. It's got nothing to do with me as a football fan. I don't go and buy a Tesla shirt. I don't support Tesla, right? I support the technology and he's brilliant whether I like him or not. FIFA's administrators, their job, basically, I'll put it like this. Their job is not to be football. It is to administrate football. Just like government. The problem people have with governments is I should know how much is in the treasury at all times. So for me, the real, and I'm talking real world solutions, let billionaires run football. Because if it's going to be sordid, I'd rather know. I'd rather know that it's sordid. Don't BS me. My problem with FIFA and UEFA for 30 years, we've been swallowing BS, and it's dirtier that way. It's cleaner if it's billionaires. By the way, you're a product. Buy our shirts, and do you want to watch the best? Just let billionaires run football. And we'll talk about the 50+1 rule in a bit, whether it would work in England. But for me, slash FIFA in half, slash UEFA in half. You don't need all these administrators. We can run them with apps now. And transparency. For me, real world is transparency. Because would you say it's all about money or not? Do you think FIFA and UEFA, is there a semblance of them caring about people?
I think it used to be about, the people's game and let's host a World Cup that, brings countries together. And, like the South African World Cup in 2010, that was a huge moment for our country in terms of bringing us as a country together. But I think, underneath, it's always been the business thing. And we're a football organization that cares for the people and we want to, help the people. But then I think in recent years, there's been a switch to that underlying it's about money has kind of found its way to the top. And everyone knows that. I don't think there's much interest in the game anymore from the board members and the hires up.
Yeah, hierarchy. Yeah.
There you go.
And it's the higher ups.
Higher ups. That's
Yeah.
the word I was looking for. I think that's where FIFA are. I think they know people know what they are and what they do. Money in brown paper bags and all of that stuff and under the table things. And I think they're sort of owning it almost.
So let me tell you, you know what? You know why UEFA and FIFA scare me? So I do like history. And by the way, shout out Blind History on cliffcentral.com. Let's just quickly talk about that. New season of Blind History is out. You can go and get that on the Cliff Central app, cliffcentral.com, or wherever you get your podcasts. Blind History, get out of here.
I actually had people asking me about
Get out of here.
I was like, okay, that's nice.
If you work in education, I would recommend this as a sort of segue for your children to create an appetite for learning. Because the Al Capone episode, if you haven't listened to it, go and get it. Blind History, phenomenal.
I was being asked questions over the weekend about Blind History.
Let's hear it.
Is it only available on Cliff Central?
No. As with all of Cliff Central's podcasts, you can get it on Cliff Central app, cliffcentral.com, Spotify. If you're like James, you're a monster. You're still using Google Podcasts because it's 1850. You can get it there. Apple Podcasts, you can get it there. Wherever you get your podcasts, it is available. So you can get it anywhere. Blind History, phenomenal. Poigners, love history. Gareth, love history. Anthony Madera, brilliant on that. I love history. And in the Soviet Union, there was a time, right? So we know there were two slightly unpleasant blokes. A guy called Joseph Stalin. Not a great bloke. Not somebody who, if you were a woman, you'd want to take home to your parents.
I was about to say the exact same thing.
Yeah. Not, from all accounts, not the best person.
Not here's my boyfriend, Mom.
Yeah. But as the 80s and 90s rolled around and, Yeltsin and that crowd, anyway, there was something where in the society, right, the people knew. So as the Soviet Union was collapsing, and this is by a famous philosopher, it's not me who came up with this term, by the way. I wish I did. But in the society, in the Soviet Union, as the Soviet Union was collapsing, mid-80s, late 80s, early 90s, there was the state of the society where they were caught in the state, right? The people knew, right, that the union was collapsing. The government knew that the people knew that it was collapsing, right? But the people knew that the government knew that the people knew, right?
Just one more time for those slow people like myself.
People knew, right, that the Soviet Union was collapsing.
Right.
The government knew that the Soviet Union was collapsing.
Right.
So both sides know that it's collapsing around us, but they kept out the normalcy.
Okay.
Right? But then an interesting thing happened. Then the government knew that the people knew that the government knew that the Soviet Union was collapsing. This was very interesting, and that is an important part of this. So, but what they did, what was interesting psychologically, is that the people kept up the pretense, and the government kept up the pretense. And if anything, they ramped up the pretense. And this state where the society and the government or the law knows exactly that we're both in trouble, but we have to keep up this pretense that it's working, is called a state of hypernormalization. Because what happens at that state is, because you're pretending, you have to over the top pretend that things are okay. Over pretend. And you see it in relationships all the time. If people are unhappy and they have to put on a brave face and they do the Instagram thing and people go over the top, right? I'm super happy with this guy and girl. You see it on Instagram all the time. 2 months later, they got divorced. What happened? Well, it's called hypernormalization. So you have to hypernormalize how things are. That's where we are with FIFA and UEFA. We're trapped in a state of what we call hypernormalization. So you can go and look that term up. Real thing, by the way. So we know FIFA's corrupt. They know we know they are corrupt. Yet we are saying UEFA and FIFA, things are normal. No, this is fine. They're going to carry on. People's game. The people love us. World Cup. There was a bid. They still have the ceremony, right? Over pretend. There was a bid. It was fair. People voted. Qatar won. Come on. It was fair. Show us the results. Don't worry about that. They won.
Oh, we lost the papers.
Hypernormalization. Go and look that term up. We are trapped in that state. And this was when, listen, the Soviet, at the end, they really started to squeeze the society. Anybody who rebelled, anybody who spoke out. And this is where we are. This is where we are.
That's very interesting, actually.
Hypernormalization. That's where we're trapped. And it scares me because UEFA and FIFA scare me. They've got dictator traits. They scare me big time. It's we're doing wrong and there's nothing you can do about it. That's what they say. They don't fire anybody. How long did it take for Platini, this thing? How long did it take for Sepp Blatter?
Sepp Blatter was being investigated for years.
Sepp Blatter was in FIFA 50 years. 50 years! Come on now. And you can't tell me the corruption started there and people are who they are. 50 years he was in that organization.
I do think the corruption started, relatively early in his career.
Listen,
he saw how much money was, and he was like, I just want more. And that's where we are.
And before we finish off on that, you know why I think we should slash the people in half? People are corruptible. I don't like to live in a world. I'm sorry. I know I live in the suburbs. I do hide in my yuppie house. I mean, I don't have that nice of a house, but I live in and around yuppie people. So I hide in my complex. I don't go out a lot. But people are corruptible. So I don't pretend my life is the real world. There's a dirty side to the world. If you've read Machiavelli's The Prince, you understand how the different echelons of societies work. Listen, slash the people, because people where there's money and power are corruptible. So what you should do, I'm just logically thinking, reduce the number of people we can corrupt. Start there with FIFA and UEFA. Don't fire them because they're bad people. Fire them because you care about the game. You know why? Half of the people sitting in Zurich, apps can do their job. If you're an accountant, I've got some bad news for you. There are apps that do your job better because computers don't make mistakes.
Microsoft Excel.
They don't do... Sorry. We can program... If you think as a pen pusher in 2021, you are irreplaceable, you are in big trouble, my friend. There are apps to do everything that pen pushers do. So halve that. Okay, can you corrupt an app? Some guys can hack into it. Less likely you can corrupt a computer though, right? People are so bendable and so corruptible quickly as well. Technology has its problems, but just reduce people. We can shift them. People can get jobs elsewhere. There's lots of jobs out there. Technology, can't wait to employ people. Can't wait.
Good thing apps can't do this job.
Apps can. I mean, you've seen some of these, what do you call it when they make people look like people? What's it called?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, I saw Joe Rogan one where it wasn't actually Joe Rogan, but they...
Oh, a deep fake.
Deep fake.
Yeah.
Deep fake. James, I could replace you tomorrow if I had the money.
But would that deep fake, James, know how to set that up?
Oh, it's a good question. Not going to get into that. I don't know. That's speculation, and I'm an honesty broker.
An honesty broker?
Yeah.
So you deal in honesty?
Just truth. Just truth. No lies, ever.
Hashtag facts.
Hey, James, I said great beard earlier, great hair earlier, douchebag glasses. All of that is fact.
I'm on my way to being a hipster.
There you go. All right. I'd love to know what people think. By the way, do we have a poll today?
We do. I have just posted it.
All right. Cliff Central Sport, Cliff C Sport on Twitter. There is a poll. Go and vote. Voting is a democratic right.
Don't ask me to tell you what the poll is just yet.
Okay. Well,
just buy us some time real quick there.
All right. So voting, real thing, huh? Started with those Greek guys on the Acropolis. That would be my Greek accent. Not horrible, but not not up there with the best. Go and exercise your right democratically to vote on Cliff C Sport. Jimbo, what we got there?
So the poll is: do you think the German 50-1 model would be a good idea for English football? I had no idea what that was, and I thought it was going to confuse me when I googled it, but it's actually really simple to understand.
Well, we're going to get into it in a bit.
It's worth a Google. And
so what are my options there, Jimbo?
Standard things, yes and no.
Pretty
That's about
standard.
it, yeah.
So read that again.
Do you think the German 50+1 model would work in English football?
Go and vote in that poll. Promote the vote, by the way. Where is that? At Cliff C Sport, huh?
At Cliff C Sport on the tweets.
At Cliff C Sport on the Twitter. And love to know what people think. So go and vote. Promote the vote. By the way, hashtag the MKT Show live whenever you tweet about the show, or you're on social media, or you post anything about us. By the way, if you are listening, click like. It helps us on the algorithm on the YouTube machine. You know what I'm saying, Jimbo?
I do. We got a comment this weekend on the post I made on Instagram, obviously from one of the listeners of the show.
Uh-huh.
And the clip I posted on Instagram was a segment about Paolo calling me a nice guy.
Yeah.
And you reminded me with telling the listeners to go and vote about what I had said on Friday and what this guy had commented on our post. He commented something along the lines of, James, because of you, I Googled what chairs would look like if our knees bent the other way.
Now, it's hey, good to give people perspective. A couple of days ago, you know what? We'll get into it. If you want to get this show, the MKT Show on the podcast, you can get it at Cliff Central Sport, of course, cliffcentral.com, the Cliff Central app, or wherever you get your podcasts. But if you are an Apple podcast, you need to go and rate us. Give us a 5-star rating and leave a comment. So your comment could be, cream your elbows, people. It's revolting to look at ashy elbows, for instance. That's one of the comments you could have. How do you milk an almond to get milk? You can leave that as a comment. You know, these are some of the comments you could get. Do almonds have nipples? These are the sort of things we're going to have to start asking. Leave that as a comment. You know what I mean? If you're on Apple Podcasts, that's how we get it. So let's get moving and grooving. Get on over to Apple Podcasts. Maybe even download Apple Podcasts just to give this show a rating. The MKT Show, give it 5 stars, then give it a rating. Is James's beard as good as it looks in real life? I can tell you right now, yes. These are some of the questions. A couple of days ago, James goes, what would chairs look like if our knees bent backwards? Great comment, that.
I thought that was exceptional.
Great comment.
I think I confused a lot of people. I think a lot of people thought about that for a good while.
Do you know what? It's a better comment than it seems at face value. It's a really good question as well, you know?
It is a deep philosophical question.
Shout out to the bent back knees. But those are my thoughts on FIFA. Go and vote. Promote the vote. Cliff C Sport. Will the 50+1 model work? Yes is the answer. No is also another answer.
The bent back knees sounds like an 80s band.
Big. Would you want to be a lead singer in a band?
Yes.
A lead singer, huh? Or you want all the attention?
No, I just enjoy singing.
Do you?
Mm.
Were you in the choir at school?
I was.
Oh, so you can actually sing?
I was in the boys' prep choir, and then I got into the college choir.
Folks, for those who don't know, college and prep is primary school and college is high school. Right, okay, keep going.
And then, so in grade 8, I did auditions for the college choir, and I got in, and then I found out that rehearsals, were on Monday nights at like 7 o'clock. And I was already, I wasn't the most invested in school. So I was like, cool, maybe not. I should rather focus on schoolwork. It didn't help me much because my marks were still, you know. But then I pulled it out the bag in matric. We're fine. But yes, I did make the choir.
Oh, so you can actually sing. Folks, this is breaking news to me, the fact that James can sing.
Yeah, I tried to.
Who knew? Good for you, James. Hey, ladies love people. Can you play the guitar?
I did play guitar.
So, wait, you can play the guitar?
No, I can't play the guitar.
Can you play like 3 strings? Because all these, like Jack Johnson is like 3 strings, right?
No, I can't play like strumming stuff. I played for like a year and then I stopped.
What happened? Why'd you give up?
I just, I don't know.
Or wasted your parents' money again?
I did.
It's like going to AFTA.
It is.
Unbelievable. Your mom worked so hard. What do you want to do, James? Guitar lessons. I'm quitting after a year. Did you even go to the exam thing where you're supposed to graduate?
What exam thing? Like
Trinity? No, man. When you're playing guitar, you practice, and then there's an exam to like go to the next level. I did that with piano when I was younger.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. No.
So your mom just actually should have just, you know what your mom should do? The smoothie makers. She should just take all of the money she's ever made in her life and just put it in there. Like, just put it in a smoothie maker, and throw it down the toilet. It would have been actually more useful.
Do you think so?
Well, what? You can't play the... Unbelievable.
Hey, I can sing.
Speaking of singing, do you know what the worst thing in the world is? And they need to stop this. I think we've spoken about this before. I don't know if you've ever seen at sports events, they have this horrible thing of putting two people to sing like a national anthem or whatever.
I know where you're going with this.
It is the worst. Because you know what happens? It's like their moment. It's like their UFC in a cage thing, right? And the other person... Have you seen it?
They like try and one up each
No,
other.
it's and they'll always hold it till the They need to stop that.
You know what I'm going to do? For social media tomorrow, I'm just going to clip that segment and that's going to be our Instagram clip. Just you making a noise.
It's the worst. But do you know what I'm talking about? When they got two people like singing the national anthem or just whatever, like a big opening event, they just always got to.
You just got to one up the person.
And it's just hit a higher octave.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Just got to go that. You got to bring that tenor.
It's the worst. Becomes a battle. Oh my goodness! Stop that. Stop that immediately.
It's like a very American thing, though.
Oh, hate it. They do it in boxing, NFL, like Super Bowl. Hate it because they always battle. Sounds terrible. Don't ever do it. They do it for Springbok games where they have two people singing the national anthem.
Yeah, no, that doesn't work for me.
No, because you know why it doesn't work? Because both douchebags.
It's like sitting in Ellis Park trying to listen to the national anthem while you sing is just, it's not a vibe. It's a hashtag not a mood.
Because you know what they think? It's like, here's my stage to deliver my art.
Yes.
No, go and perform at the teatro. That's like, then I've come to see your talent. Here I've come to see the rugby. Get it over and done with.
Do you think the same with Impy?
Yes.
Really?
I do.
Oh, I think he's such a vibe. He brings people like, when he runs out and the fireworks are going and it's just like everyone gets excited.
I'm not in it.
Really?
No.
I think it's very much a stadium thing. I think when I watch it on TV and I see Impy run out, I'm like, that's cool and all, but like I'm not hyped. But when I'm at the stadium and I see him run out and there's fire and
You think
like,
it's our thing?
It's a vibe.
Do you know what? I can maybe even live with that. Like, he's not competing with anybody. He's part of the, I don't know, people say African feel or whatever nonsense. Okay, I'll accept that. But it's the singers now jabbing at each other because now it's like, it's an event for me.
Sound like you could compete with Michael Jackson.
Oh, it's just my thoughts. I mean, it's got to be honest. All right, let's move on.
Let's move on.
So you can sing, huh?
I'm okay.
Maybe we'll record James. See if
Let's not.
Oh, so you can't sing. This was a big lie. 15 minutes of lying.
No, but I'm just self-conscious about it.
Of your ability to sing.
Yeah.
So you can't sing.
No, I can. I just prefer to do it in my own space.
No, but that's ridiculous. That doesn't mean you can sing because I can sing then. I do it in the shower.
No, that's not what it means. If I prefer to do it in my own space and don't want to do it in a big space, doesn't mean I can't sing.
That makes no sense what you're saying because who's ever seen you sing then? Then you're just telling me I think I can sing.
Quite a few people.
Who? Okay, no, 5 people that have seen you sing.
By name.
Oh, no. Girlfriend, mom, dad, brother. Who else?
Girlfriend, mom.
Ridiculous. Okay, so scrap those 2 off. They are not
2,
objective.
3 mates from varsity.
Okay, folks, you know what? Let's get to the next segment. James can't sing. You know what, James? I'm unbelievable in the shower, but I've never performed in front of anybody. But in the shower, are you kidding me? Gloria Estefan.
Okay, we're talking about like objective things.
Yes.
Right, sorry.
Like Drakensberg Boys Choir. I know those oaks can sing because they belt it out.
I'm not that level.
Saints Choir boys, you know how I know they can knock it out? They performed around the world.
They have. But, so objectively, a couple of colleagues from the last place I worked at, people that didn't know much about James. So that is as about objective as you get.
What did they say?
Do you want me to?
James, you're unbelievable. You can sing. You're our friend. You can sing.
So the one person I remember said, "Wow, you have a voice," because I used to give her lifts home. So I used to sing in the car. I always sing in the car. And then I was singing the one day, and she was like, "Wow, you actually have a voice."
This has been the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard, because she's in your car, so he or she has to be nice to you. You're giving them a lift home. You're now, I can sing, trying to show off in my car. You're in a compromised position. You say I can't sing, never giving you a lift again. James, this has been one of the worst segments anybody would have to ever listen to on earth. Because this doesn't... Oh, my God. All right, James. All right, we're moving on. So James can't sing. By the way, if James can sing, I can sing. Because I did once sing in the shower, and I think I'm good. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, James.
I'm just going to leave you to your opinions.
This is unbelievable. Sorry, folks, that you had to listen to that. No, you got to get... All right.
I'm leaving you. I'm not saying anything.
All right, let's move on. One of the worst segments in the history of sport. Or any show. Right there, it just happened. All right, James.
Maybe I'll make a song one day.
Yeah, I mean, make it in the shower. And hey,
laugh
I tell you
at
what, make the song, but don't ever release it, because then you'll know that you can sing. Don't let anyone listen to it. That's the way you can judge if you can sing or not. So sing, but nobody must be able to hear it, and then just believe you can sing. Do you know what I mean?
Not
Smart.
really.
Smart. Way to do it. Way to go. All right.
Each to their own.
Let's move on to my own. I'm hearing everyone in the UK, saw some of the fans, and it was good, up in arms, always nice. Hey, stick it to the man. Stick it to the man. Stick it to the man.
Millennials.
Stick it to the man. I'm with it. I'm with it. I get you. I hear you. Football means a lot. It's not just a sport, not just about money. Saw the Arsenal fans, the protests, Manchester United fans, the protests, Arsenal, United, Chelsea. Folks, let me tell you something. People are who they are. I've said this before. And people don't change. But there's an interesting part of our societies as we build them. It's called the fabric of the society. It's not something you can see or touch. It's not. The 50+1 rule is very, very unique to Germany. And there's a reason for that. Their society was shaped at the very beginning in a certain way. It was shaped in a certain way. Germany is based on collectivism. UK is built on industry. The English Premier League, English clubs, from the very beginning were run as businesses. Everyone says history. Yes, a big part of British football history is paying their footballers. Until 1968, the Bundesliga was amateur. Amateur sporting clubs. The Premier League is not really that new if you are in Britain. Folks, the UK is built on industry. Germany is built on collectivism. And you can see it in the very recent past. Brexit. Merkel wants to do what? Keep Germany and the EU together. All of us, let's associate. So thinking of the two countries is very, very different, which means the citizenry will be different. Germans, let's all get together. Let's share the experience. Let's be together. Let's all own it. That's what makes Germany Germany. Investment bankers, where do they work in the world? London. The UK is commerce. Right? It always has been. It is built on the Industrial Revolution. England is commerce. And the thing about commerce is, and what's funny to me, is that in commerce, one of the backbones of it is, don't let everybody get involved. Don't let people get involved. So I find it hysterical that the fans are going against their very own society. Many of the people that would have been out there would have been pro-Brexit. Let's be very, very clear. You don't need to be very smart to know what Brexit's about. The money. There's a reason the United Kingdom have never changed from the pound. They've spent 4,000 years building the value of this. You might think Boris and that lot are idiots. They are not. They understand how this thing works. The history of the United Kingdom is commerce. Commerce leaves people out. And I know it's sad to hear that. It is not about including everyone. So it's hysterical to me that the fans say they want ownership. Let me tell you something that's real. Fan ownership would be regression. The 50+1 would not work in the United Kingdom. Not everybody should get involved, and I'll tell you why. The guy sitting in the stands wants to go have a beer after the game. Oh no, now a woman and her child are trapped by 40 drunk fans in an alleyway. Now what? Somebody has to pay for that. And you don't get to deal with that when you want to deal with that. You deal with it all the time. I don't want to hear that you're in a pub with your mates having a drink. That's not what I want to hear. Deal with it now. Oh no, a footballer has been racially abused online. Oh yeah, but sorry, I'm just taking my family for a walk in the park. That's not how it works. But what do you hear from the common man all the time now? I want life balance. I want family balance. I don't want to be addicted to my work. Well, sorry, for great things to happen, like the Premier League, like the jobs created by Liverpool, United, Chelsea, the commerce that the United Kingdom is built on, somebody has to be on it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. To Joe Schmo, who's in the third row with his pint, sorry, you are not the person I want running my commerce. And the United Kingdom is built on commerce. You cannot divorce the society if you tell me that football clubs are a part of the community. Your communities are built on commerce. And commerce is by its very nature exclusive. So for fans, I'm sorry. We need sophisticated systems to run these big machines. And what they are now is business. Business needs systems. It does not need passion. Passion is a horrible thing to have in business, folks. I know you hear it all the time. Be passionate. No, don't be passionate. Be accurate. Be concise. Have a plan and stick to the plan. Most people don't stick to a plan. Otherwise, we wouldn't have obese societies. Otherwise, we wouldn't have divided societies. We wouldn't have Brexit. We wouldn't have people beating each other in the streets. If people stuck to a plan, nobody would be obese. We wouldn't have drug problems. We wouldn't have any of that. But most of us want to do what we want to do. When we want to do it. You want to run Liverpool? Are you kidding me? John W. Henry does not. He's paying people millions of dollars who do not sleep. It is their job to be on it for Liverpool all the time. New sponsors in China, everywhere, all the time. Racial abuse, guys, get on it. Oh, John W. Henry, it's 1 a.m. I don't care if your wife leaves you tomorrow. Deal with that. Does the common man, right? And I am the common man. I don't want to deal with things at 3 a.m. on a Saturday night. Folks, I own 2 businesses. Trust me, it doesn't turn off. So to the drunk guy in the stands who says, I want a piece of Liverpool. To do what? To do what with Liverpool? Because on Monday mornings, we don't want to hear hungover. You'd better be in the office at 6:30 in the morning, and you'd better be running this thing because we've got 6 conference calls to Norway, Italy, China, Japan, and South Africa. Be there and be ready with all the presentations. And by the way, they better all be translated and ready to adjust to those markets and how they speak. I've got nothing against the common man. My family is common. I come from the working class. But even in my family, there are certain people I want nowhere near the family bank accounts. There are people I do not want near the family money. And I'm talking poor family. There are certain people who I know, they must run the family household money. Folks, I love football fans. I am a football fan. But just because you support something doesn't mean you must run it. The great business pyramid says there are finders, there are minders, and there are grinders. The finders find the great ideas. They pay minders to mind their great ideas and scale them. And the minders, of course, get the grinders to do the hard work. That's business, baby. And I'll give you a solution. Right? If the 50+1 rule is what you want, no matter what club you are, right? Make entry into the Premier League voluntary. So you don't have to play. You can cap yourself at the championship. Even if you win it, you want fan ownership. You want it to go back to the good old days, which is what everybody says. I want my Arsenal back. I want my Manchester back. By the way, your Arsenal 70s, 80s, 90s, or 70s, 80s, 90s, violence and racism. That's what happened with your Arsenal. That's what happened, right? And I'm not making that up. You can go and look at the history of British football. You can have your Arsenal back, and whoever wants to be in the Premier League and make billions of dollars and be sophisticated and be safe for men and women to come and watch football, because that costs money, lots of it, all the time. All the time, by the way. That money is spent every year, all the time. So men and women from around the world can come and watch Arsenal and Tottenham. You can have your Arsenal back, but go and Google the documentaries of Arsenal in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Go and Google Liverpool in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. You can have it back. You can have it back. I highly recommend you don't, though. Should fans own part of the clubs? Absolutely not. Stop it. Stop it. Not everybody wants to run a business, folks. I said this to a friend on the weekend. A friend of mine came to me and said, hey, why are you still single? Why are you still single? And I said, you know what it is? I've realized as I'm getting older, maybe I'm just getting grouchy. But I've realized people like the idea of me rather than who I actually am. And we got into it a little bit. My point is, people like the idea of owning a business. People like the idea of being an entrepreneur. People like the idea of taking risk. They don't like doing those things. Because you know what? You have to pitch up for these things. And nobody says, well done, pats you on the back on a Sunday night when you do your job. Not everybody wants to do that. John W. Henry, the Glazers, throughout their family history, they've pitched up every single day, and they've got to make hard decisions. They've got to make hard decisions. I know people say, oh, billionaires have it so easy. Folks, not everybody wants to run a business. People like the idea of it. Trust me, I work in business. I have 2 of my own businesses. I've had to let people go because people like the idea of owning things. Just like I said to my friend on the weekend, people like the idea of me, but I am always disciplined, and when I say something, it better happen or you guts to go. So people like the idea of me. I don't think they would like the real me if you got to spend time with me and you don't bring out, like, I got a rule, right? I don't want alcohol at my house. Even if you're my friend, don't bring alcohol to my house. I don't want alcohol in my space. You don't smoke in my house. Now, does that sound like somebody you want to be around all the time? Probably not. But that's who I am. All the time. By the way, that's not an act. I'm like that. I'm intense all the time. Business is intense all the time. Most people want to go to the pub. Most people want to spend time with their families. Most people want to enjoy their lives. There is no enjoyment in business. Do not let fans near it. Just enjoy the product and c'est la vie. Make the Premier League voluntary. You don't have to play in the Premier League. If that's where we want to go, I would do that. 50+1, fans must own it. If you don't like the billions in the Premier League, don't play. Stay in the Championship. It can be non-for-profit. Get a couple of accountants to run it. And we can see whether we have women and men wanting to come to the stadiums when there isn't money to pay for security, when nobody can track the online abuse, when nobody can track the swearing in stadiums. Now we can do that. You need money for that. And in order to run businesses, folks, I'm afraid you need people who are willing to work 24 hours a day. 50+1, you must be crazy. You must be crazy. There's no chance. Jimbo, you want to own a part of Liverpool? You think it'd be a good model? So what you do essentially is bring the numbers down, right? Is instead of 300 million that Liverpool are making a year, 100 million. We get a say in what the club, who runs the club.
In an ideal world, I'd love to say that I am the part owner of Liverpool Football Club.
Sure.
That doesn't necessarily mean I make great decisions. I think if the fans were involved in owning the clubs, I think decisions would be made based on emotional investment, just like the Super League. And in that sense, I feel like that's where, for lack of a better phrase, shit could hit the fan. So I don't know. I think as much as I don't like the amount of money being pumped into football, these teams do make a lot in turnover. They reach large audiences across the globe. So, yeah, I don't know. I think, would I have that over running a club through emotions? Probably.
What about those that say, but it works in Germany?
I think it works in Germany because it's been instated there for a very, very long time, as far as I know, probably since...
No, from the beginning.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, so in German football, there were exemptions, right? So if the club, that's how Bayern Munich got to run away, is if you had invested in a club for more than 20 years, you didn't have to do the 50+1, which is why I think it's Wolfsburg is the one, because that's obviously started by VW workers. Hoffenheim, I think, was the other one. Obviously, Munchen is the other one. And then, of course, RB Leipzig found a very clever way around the 50+1 rule. They have 17 board members that are for the fans, which are all Red Bull employees. But that's a whole different beast. But there were exemptions at the very, very beginning. But from the beginning, 50+1 was you couldn't just have a mogul owning more than 49%. So you cannot play in the Bundesliga if you have a mogul owning more than 49% of the football club.
You see, in that sense, that's why it does work in Germany, because that's how it's been since the start.
Yeah.
Since the very beginning. And teams are successful in Germany. I mean, a German team won the Champions League last season. So I think in that sense, that's where it does work. It's almost like legalizing drugs. Initially, you'll have this huge issue because everyone will kind of go overboard. But then, like, as time goes on, it'll sort of become more of a normalized thing. I don't know why I'm advocating for drugs.
Yeah. That's a whole... Jeez.
Does
your mom know you love drugs?
I don't love drugs.
Okay.
I don't. But yeah, I think it would be like that. I think initially a lot of clubs would struggle. And I think that'll show on the pitch. As well as the turnover the clubs make on a yearly basis. I think, yeah, I don't see it working in English football, if I'm honest.
Do you think maybe, for me, I suggest make Premier League participation voluntary. So like now, if you get promoted, you have to go to the Premier League.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, if people want that, right, so what do we do? Kick out the billionaire owners?
I don't think if you make the Premier League voluntary, there would have to be so many logistics that would go into, okay, Hull City don't want to be in the Premier League next season even though they qualified. Now what's our next sort of fair measure to let the next club go in? So I think in an ideal world, maybe, but in a real world where things like that need to be planned to the T and there's potential consequences involved and all of that stuff, I think ideal world, yes. Real world, no.
Okay, ideal world, what about this one? Maybe we say, okay, shut it all down. It's gone too far. Money sullied the game. Every club is owned by the community, so the government or whatever, you vote in a person, they can only stay for 4 years, and then every 4 years, listen, I don't want to get into the Spanish situation. There are 2 clubs only in Spain that are run by the, what do they call them? Aficionados or something. Anyway, Real Madrid is one of these. You vote for the president. He's in for 4 years. He cannot do anything without passing a mandate vote. They have to vote. It's like, I think, 100 euros a year to be a Real Madrid member. But also, you don't just get in at Real Madrid, by the way. There's a whole system there. I don't know if you know the system.
Mm-mm.
In order to become a shareholder and one of the aficionados or whatever, I forget what the term is, 2 people have to recommend you. 2 current Real Madrid aficionados. They recommend James. James is now a part of it. And even then, you don't just get in. There's a kind of vetting system. Now you're in, you pay your membership fee. At the end of the year, you get to vote on whatever people vote on in a football club. Should we move stadium? Should we change the name? And then every 4 years, they vote on the president. What about this? Premier League, okay, money's made the game too dirty. We don't like it. The communities are involved. Government takes over, and now all the profits are pumped back into the community, but the government runs it, not billionaires. What do you think of that? I heard somebody saying that.
The government runs football clubs?
Yes.
Or?
Yeah. It's all community-based. It's run like a department. So Liverpool Football Club is just a department in the government. They're just making rules the whole time. Whatever revenues we get, here's where they're going. Just like they run a water sanitation. You know? What do you think of that?
I think in that sense, it would re-romance the game. The
Sure.
game. I think it would bring a lot more fans to the game because it is sort of more of a community thing, even though it's government run.
Mm-hmm.
So I think for football in general in England, that would be exceptional. It's like always logistics. Where would the funding come in from the government?
These are the things they'd have to figure out. See, billionaires can figure this out. It's not a problem for them. Their livelihood is creating revenue streams. So you never need to worry with billionaires. They will bend every rule to make an extra buck, right?
Yeah.
So taxpayer, I guess. It's your club. You're going to pay some money in?
I probably would. I mean,
would, huh?
Look, if that's my club and I lived in England and football was everything in my life, absolutely. I'd be all for it. I would be happy to pay tax.
I got you.
If it contributes to us signing Virgil van Dijk 2.0, I would be okay with paying tax.
I got you.
James, here's your tax return for the financial year. Please pay £2,000.
Yeah.
Sure, absolutely.
And then,
Who are we buying next?
But it wouldn't be on this level, though. Hey?
Yeah, no.
Because you know, like the government people it wouldn't be on TV. It would be like on radio still. They're making rules, more rules. Let's have more rules. You can't sign people over £10 million because some of that money has to go to the NHS. You know.
I think in the long run that would sort of standardize football in England only.
So would you say would you like it for us to get a little bit more amateur? So less, because naturally professional environments, what people do when they get professional, they specialize, right? Business people specialize in creating revenue. You think take the professional side away, make it government, make it about the community. Then if you're a footballer, who pays the footballers?
That's the thing. That's where all of these logistics have to come in.
Would you be happy to part with 10% of your wages so that Liverpool Football Club could go on? Your 10% of your yearly wages ensure that Trent Alexander-Arnold is paid. Let's say they cap it off. He's going to earn £20,000 a week. But no foreign ownership. There's no possibility of ESL. What about that? But footballers can't earn £200,000 a week. We've all voted now.
Yeah, it would all have to.
No, we've all voted.
Down.
Listen, if you're into the ownership thing, we voted. What's the most the player can earn? Let's just say £10,000 a week. We've got all of that sorted. Would you be happy in that world?
Goodness.
Yeah. But is it now? It's not on SuperSport, by the way, because somebody has to pay for that.
So now it's all.
Oh no, it's BBC.
So wait, in this ideal situation, am I living in the UK?
No. You live here. I'm saying if it happens, because this is possible, right? Listen, let me tell you something about politicians. Boris Johnson said one of the most worrying things I've ever heard. They are going to make legislation to ensure this never happens again. Let me tell you something about politicians. Once their fingers get involved, and once they start making rules, history tells us they do not stop. If you think Boris is going to make rules just so the European Soccer League, you know what's next? No more foreign ownership. Give it 5 years, tighten. It's got to be a certain amount has to be owned by the government or the people.
Look, I think especially British football, as much as the Premier League is to me the most exciting league in the world, and to a lot of people. And as much as it's great to watch players like Sergio Aguero once a week, or star players, Sadio Mane, all of these foreign players that aren't from England.
Mhm.
It's great to watch that. It is. It's great for football. It's great for the Premier League. It's exceptional. But I remember, I think 2 or 3 years ago, I sat down to watch the Man City versus Tottenham game. And I was with my stepdad, and we were obviously rooting for Tottenham. He's from Tottenham. And
Oh,
they,
scum. North
So
London is a scummy place.
they pulled up the
No offense to your stepdad,
Oh, absolutely.
but he'll tell you North London is
Probably.
a scummy area.
He probably would.
Not probably. He knows that. He knows that there's estates that the government have built. They're all in North London. Not a great place.
What a time to be alive, huh?
Hey, I live there, so I know.
Anyway, so they did the team sheets, and that whole thing where the players walk up to the screen and then they like smile or whatever.
Yeah.
So Tottenham's lineup came up, and it was British, Welsh,
Whatever it may be. Yeah.
but most of the team was either from England or the UK
Yes.
as a whole.
Yeah.
So very localized,
Sure.
obviously. Man City's team comes up, and it's like Spain, it's like Algeria,
Yeah.
it's French, and I turned to my stepdad and I was like, how are you in the Premier League?
Yeah.
How are you in the Premier League when your only English player that you're fielding today is John Stones
Sure.
and maybe Raheem Sterling? I can't remember if he was on the field.
Yeah.
But I think in that sense, like, that's where football does need to change.
But I've never understood this pride of like, and the Brits are big on this, right? Talk to me about this. If I walked into a British person's house, I guarantee you the following: their stove is from Germany, their television is from Korea, and the door handles they have are from China. I guarantee you, if you are British and you're listening to this, go and look at the brand of your stove, go and look at the brand of your television, and go and see if you can see the nuts and bolts that you use. So, how far do you take this thing? Like, is it about being British or not? Like, you start with yourself at home. If you think it's smart to think that way. What is it? 1850. The very nature. Britain is built on conquering the world. That's what built Britain, right? That is global. Spread the English message. I mean, I don't want to go too far down this, but we know the history. Why are they anti it for themselves? I've never understood. You went out and told everybody being British is the highest standard of civilization. Okay, well, we'd like to come see what you're all about on this island you keep talking about.
I think it comes down to a fan thing again.
Sure.
What makes you Manchester United, apart from the fact that your Old Trafford is in Manchester, or apart from the fact that you're based in Manchester? Okay, cool. So you're Manchester United. Sick. That's really great for you, and the fans are, they've got a huge following at Manchester United, and then it's like, okay, cool. So, but half your team is French,
Yeah.
or German,
Yeah.
so it's like, okay, cool. So you're just Man United because you're based in Manchester. That's it.
So what happens? Do we give up the sponsorship from the noodles in China? No more Chevrolet on shirts. Is that what you're saying? So every British team should be sponsored by, I don't know, H&M
No, I just
or
think
whoever. Well, H&M's Swedish, but I don't even know. See, I don't even know a British brand.
that's what I'm saying. So I just think things should be capped. It's great that you're pumping all of this money into football and players earning a lot and all of that stuff is really, really great for football.
Yeah.
But how English are you?
But are you saying should every team then be owned by a Brit?
No.
How far do you want to go?
I just think there should be a cap on players. There should be a cap on like sponsorship percentage. So like player wise, let's say 50-60% of your squad has to be from the UK or from Britain or whatever.
That's illegal. They tried that, remember? 6 plus 5. And then but hey, they're not in the EU anymore. So that might happen. What you talking? Remember they were going to do 6 plus 5, but it was rejected on a legal basis because the European employment laws said that was illegal because of restraint. You can't tell a business what to do in that sense. They fought it, remember?
No, I suppose.
Yeah. So, no, but hey, Brexit. Shout out to Boris Johnson. Get some of the lads in there, you'll say.
I think so. I think there at least has to be a cap. And
Okay, but then why would I, as John Henry, bring my billions to your country? What's for me then, just start with British ownership or not? Do I sound crazy? Like, if I'm an investor and you're going to tell me what to do with the billions I'm bringing to your country, I'm out. I'm going to China. There's lots of places. I'm going to America.
Fair enough.
And I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying, in the world you're talking about, then if you really want to localize, because every company will become the culture of the owner.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to bring my billions from across the ocean, what do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to make my billions from across the oceans. I'm not going to just be happy to run it like a corner shop. So maybe, maybe British fans want this. I don't know. This is a good point. I think you're raising a lot of good points. I would suggest then, I think hours ago, the Spotify guy put a bid in for Arsenal.
That was part of social media with James.
All right, we'll get to that. But maybe that's the place to start. And that's where it's going. I'd love to know what football fans think about that. Sorry, no more foreign ownership. Just British.
I think also in that sense, it carries through. So like you watch I'm so out of touch with rugby. You watch the Bulls and the Sharks, for example.
Yeah.
And you watch, these players that wear the green and gold on the odd occasion or get called up for the Springboks as regulars. You've seen them play through the system, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you've seen them at South African level for their province. Now you've seen them as a Springbok. So it carries through, and you prefer that player over, I don't know,
I know what you mean.
Williams.
Yeah. You got to know their journey.
Exactly.
You got to know them as a person. You feel like you've grown with them.
So I think as a country, for a game that was started by you, it would also reignite almost that, patriotism. Like this is our thing. Like football, our thing. America, you may have NH or NFL, and you guys call it football, but football is our thing.
Yeah.
Like association football, it's British. Like that's our thing. And I think that's also a thing. It like almost brings communities together.
And James, you are striking on an incredibly important point. It is this is truly the very bottom line of a philosophical dilemma, because it's the notion that something that we love, right? If you look at people, if you really drill down on the stuff you love, I don't mean handbags. If you really drill down to it, it's experiences, right? Like when you go out for a meal with somebody you love, okay, the meal's great. But quite frankly, what do people do sometimes? You go to a cold, windy corner. You're on top of a mountain. It's cold. It's windy. The sun's blasting your face. Yeah, but I'm with my loved one. That's what it's actually about. So forget about the basket and blah, blah. It's not about that. But now people are saying something I love, I can't access that thing I love. Because what we love is when the ball hits the post in the 88th minute and it's Steven Gerrard. That's actually why you're at the football game.
Yes.
Hey, he's one of me. Steven Gerrard.
He's one of the Liverpudlians.
I am Gerrard. It's really the classic sort of religious thing, which all religions play on, is you are me and I am you.
Exactly.
And football is a portal. It is a spiritual portal to connecting people, right? And so you're touching on something very important, that do not commodify that which I love. It's where, because actually, if you say, do you want a romantic trip, James?
I'd love one.
Oh, it's going to cost you 100,000 rand.
Oof.
There is a problem there. It's like, I want to pay that money, but actually, I wish I could just feel this thing.
Yeah.
Because what I want to do, it's kind of ugly that I have to pay to simulate an experience. But if I'm at home with my loved one, just looking in your loved one's eyes, there's no price on that. There is no $1 billion for being loved.
Exactly.
Right? And I do see what you're saying. And I'd love to know what people think. Do we go back?
Especially in the I mean, look, it's, it's not stuff we can sort of want. I think with the way the world's moving, everything's monetized, or what was the word you used? Commodified.
Commodification. Yeah, commodified. Yeah.
Yeah, I think everything's monetized, everything's commodified. So it's impractical to run that kind of system. But yeah, essentially what you're saying. I'm from Liverpool. I've watched Liverpool my entire life, and when I see Steven Gerrard, I'm at Anfield on the Cup. I see Steven Gerrard in the 85th minute, bang one in,
Yeah.
wins us the game 2-1, like that. That exact thing, you can't pay for.
Yeah. And you'd like to go back to that.
I would.
It will come at a cost, though, because somebody has to pay for security to be there so that we don't have Hillsborough again. Somebody, you know what I mean? Somebody has to pay for that stadium.
Someone has to pay for the upkeep of the stadium to avoid Hillsborough again. Someone has to pay someone, yeah.
So it's safe. Like, safety comes at a price. Sweden's not safe because they la-dee-da. Sweden's safe because this, you know why? Because the government is really prudent with the money. Like, really prudent. And it's been thousands of years. We're going to replicate this model here, and eventually we have enough money so that we can pay for everyone's healthcare.
Exactly.
And
we
when
have prisons that are really, really clean.
Oh, my sister went to a prison in Norway, she told me.
Should I ask why your sister was in prison?
Oh, just, go see how the lads live.
Oh, right.
Are you kidding me? It is
It's insane, eh?
paradise.
Oh, I've seen pictures.
They got TVs. Listen, if you're at home after the show, go and Google Norwegian prison.
It's insane.
It is a holiday resort. Right? But that comes at a brutal price.
Exactly.
You must work for that, and somebody's always paying. Listen, taxes in Sweden, 60% sometimes.
So if you're in the top 40%?
Yeah, but listen, no potholes. No,
Things work.
But everything comes at a price.
There you go.
Things cost a fortune, but hey, listen, maybe get...
But that's the thing, though. It's also, Sweden, or what country were we talking about again?
Norway, Sweden,
Sorry.
Scandinavs, they're all the same.
So Norway have been working on that system for years.
Yeah.
That was implemented years ago, and it's
Well,
become a
little
normalized...
more than years, a couple of centuries.
Exactly. So it's become
Millennia,
a
in
normalized
fact.
thing.
Yeah.
It's a normalized thing there.
So you think go back, eventually we'll get used to it. We'll get used to Kevin De Bruyne is not playing at Man City.
Yeah.
Oh, look what he's doing in the MLS.
Playing for
No, because hey,
Miami.
if you think the other thing to consider now, and to your thinking, and we'll finish off on this, is I'm not saying don't go back. America would love it. David Beckham owns Inter Miami. Oh, are you kidding me? Bernardo Silva, come on over. Come on over. Kyle Walker, they don't want you there. They don't want to pay you. Come on over.
Come have a chat with us, boys.
But it's an interesting one.
It is.
It is an interesting one. All right. Hey, listen, that good chat. Let's should we go straight into social media with James?
Yes, we are running short on the time. That chat.
That's okay.
It's okay.
It's good chatting.
By
the way, love to know what people think. If you are listening to the show, please click like. That is the thumbs up. If you hate the show, dislike as well. I'm an honesty broker, James.
Dislikes are okay, I guess.
Listen,
I don't prefer them over likes.
do you know what I saw on Instagram, which made me nearly vomit?
A Starbucks coffee.
Yeah, I mean, that would make me vomit on Instagram and in real life. I'd never obviously drink that. But I saw the most epic, social media psychology advice of all time.
What was it?
If you can't accept me at my worst, you can't have me at my best. And it's one of my best friends, and she knows who she is. It is the worst. To all of you who have that kind of stuff on social media, there is a part of you I dislike. And our relationship will never be the same. That's the worst one, huh? Like that kind of stuff.
That's all I can muster. I've sighed about 8 times now.
So let's get some music and move on to something useful. Social media with James. James. Social media with James. We should get a sting for that.
We've been saying this.
We should get a sting.
I'm gonna try and keep it short and sweet. UFC this weekend, really cool stuff. Usman absolutely knocking out Masvidal. Did you see the video of Chris? What's his name? Chris Weidman or whatever. He was on one of the undercards for the Usman fight. He kicked his opponent in the knee, and his.
I thought that was from his step. I thought he stepped on it wrong, or was it because of the kick?
So he made the kick.
Oh,
it
is that
hit
what
the knee,
happened?
and it shattered. So if this is his knee.
Yeah, as he landed his foot.
Yeah. So it hit the knee like this, and his foot came around this side.
Gruesome. It
Shattered.
was gruesome.
And then he had no idea it had happened. So
and then he put his foot down.
Yeah. So as he came back, his foot came down, and obviously
when he felt the pressure, he squealed.
It was
like a little boy.
horrendous. It was so disgusting. Chris Weidman. I
Yeah,
don't know
no,
how
it
to say his
was.
surname.
Listen, that was hectic.
If you have a queasy stomach, don't watch that video.
Yeah.
If you don't, go have a look at Chris Weidman.
Yeah, but Street Jesus, huh? Took it in the jaw there. Usman is an absolute animal.
Did you see a couple of seconds before he took it in the face, he was taunting him?
Yeah, but that's his vibe, right?
As Vidal was all like, and then...
Oh, but that was... But
that was
hey,
a clean shot, eh?
listen, I love... You know what? I always say to parents, because we live in a sick world now where people think I would give good advice. So there's a lot of people that... within my family, where the friendship circles that have kids, and and they think it's good to come and ask me, like, should I send my kids to boarding school, blah blah blah. Right? Which is, that should scare everybody. Could you imagine me giving advice to the future generations that'll run this world?
No way.
Not good, huh? Hey, James, not good.
We'd raise I can't
No, say
say
it. Hey, this is a safe space. Say it, James. Say it.
We'd have a bunch of like, who's the right person to compare this to?
I don't know. It's your words. Use your words. AFTA, not really a place of smarts or words.
Not a place of history.
James ran out of brain space there. We'll get back to what I was saying. Look, whenever they ask me, should I send my kids to boarding school? You know what I say? I say, if you send your kids to boarding school. So I always say yes, because I think people are getting too soft.
Right.
And, I always call myself this. I call them soft-ass suburban bitches. Right?
Sure.
People that live where I live, grew up in the northern suburbs of Joburg, soft-ass suburban bitches. You know what's cool about boarding school, especially where I went to boarding school?
You get beaten.
Well, you get farm boys there. And I went there with my big attitude, big man attitude.
Not going to work,
And
buddy.
the farm boys don't play with the same rules. Here in these Yuppieville, Cape Town, Durban, or wherever you live in these yuppie cities of yours, people talk it out. The thing about farm boys, and something that I appreciate about them, is they will smack you in the face. They will smack you in the face if you're not listening. And I think the cool thing about the UFC is I think there's more people in the world that I wish would get punched in the face. So I like honest sports like that, because that's the way. If you're going to say something, let's sort it out. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'd like barbaric nature.
Yes, that part. But I also like the fact I like consequences in life. Like, for me, in my 20s, there were consequences for the malarkey I was up to. And I was a rubbish human, but consequences. My friends didn't want to hang out with me. People don't want to hang out with me. Get the hell out. There must be consequences in life. And I feel like there's too many people walking around where there's no consequences. I like that, Street Jesus. You can be who you are. But boy, oh boy, you better get in that ring, and there is nowhere to run. Because too many people can hide behind Twitter and just say what they like. I wish more people would get punched in the face. So I think I get to live that out through honest warrior sports like that.
It gives you that the whole thing of, okay, you want to talk dirty, can you back up your words, kind of thing.
It's also honest. Like, I've
I
said,
love
there's
it.
only 3 really honest sports left: UFC, rugby, and boxing. Because you can do all the talking you want, but once you are there is no place to hide. In normal life, if you got money, you can talk smack and go hide in mommy and daddy's house, right? Like, rich kids don't get punched in the mouth enough. That's like, I've got a problem with that. I like, people are soft. I don't like soft people. So yeah, very
whole
cool.
new generation, huh?
Hey, Street Jesus, shout out.
Yeah, so basically my brother phoned me on Sunday morning, I think. Because of the time zones, he was able to watch the fight live. Here in South Africa, I think the fight was probably on at like 3 o'clock in the
No,
morning.
like 6 o'clock, James. Stop sleeping.
Not a chance.
Dude, I woke up at 5:30 and there was still the undercard.
No way.
James, so again, soft ass yuppie James, you just needs to sleep for his beauty sleep. But James, I was up, and you can go and look it up. I mean, no big deal. The 27Ks on Sunday, no big deal. I was up 5:30, went for a run.
No big deal.
I got back in time to see Street Jesus get knocked out after 27Ks of running. So please, do me a favor. That card was about 6, it must have been 6:45, I think it was on South African time. Started about 4:30, because as I got up, one of the first fights were on.
I'm here up at 4:30 on a Sunday.
Do something. Do something. I mean,
At
your whole life,
4:30 on a
your whole
Sunday.
life can't just be sleeping in your bed and eating strawberries and cornflakes or whatever you do.
Cool. Let's move on, I guess.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. I just strawberries and cornflakes.
I don't know what you do in your personal life. Why are you sleeping till 10 o'clock?
Okay. Jake Paul again.
Legend.
The boy's in the news. He's gotten the attention of the notorious Conor McGregor.
Mm-hmm.
Conor McGregor tweeted on Sunday a response to Jake Paul. He said, UFC high-level fighting, and then the is greater than sign, blogger jackass boxing.
Oh boy.
So
Yeah.
Jake's made a name. He's there.
Do you know what? People need to get over themselves. He's brilliant. He's brilliant at what he does. He creates the market. He runs the market. And you know what? He's the guy right now. And everybody thinks his life's easy. Folks, there's nothing easy about being the guy. Is he living it? Yes. And you know what's cool? He steps into the boxing ring as well. He doesn't just talk about it.
Yeah.
Yes, he's fighting pregnant Ben Askren. Right? But listen, he's about that action. And then he's smart. Guys, in life always, I will take smart over bullish. This idea that people need to be strong and fast and lekker, you're an idiot. I can get robots to fight now.
Are you calling me smart?
I don't know how you took that from anywhere.
You said in life I'll always choose smart people over bullish. You chose me.
I told you if I could go back, we all make mistakes. I would definitely have you as the third Illingsley brother that I take now, especially now that I know that your brother's a superhero. But I love Jake Paul, love everything he's doing. Listen, he doesn't want those Conor McGregor problems.
No.
I know. Listen, Conor's also marketing genius. Both of them marketing genii. Absolute geniuses if you're American. Genii if you're British.
Octopi. Sorry, octopi is the word.
I don't know. I tried that earlier. Folks, put in the comments. What is the plural for octopus? I'd love to know. I don't know.
Octopi or octopuses or
I don't know.
octopussies?
See, I don't know. I wish somebody with Google, somebody put in the comment section. But love Jake Paul, love everything about him. Love Conor McGregor. They understand business. They understand how to be, set it ablaze. I love it.
Huge.
But listen, boxing, cool. He can box Conor. Conor's not a great boxer. To UFC, he doesn't want those kind of problems. I don't care for how much money. Jake Paul, don't do it. Do not do it. You don't need those kind of problems.
Not against Conor, not against Tommy Fury or Daniel Cormier, who he had an altercation with.
Daniel Cormier, by the way, if you're not into UFC, heavyweight, unfortunately, that last fight, who did he lose to? Poirier. Who did he lose to in that last fight?
Cormier,
I mean.
I have no idea.
DC lost to... Anyway, whoever he lost to. Was it Stipe?
Oh, yeah.
No.
It
was another guy with an Eastern Bloc name. Anyway, Cormier... you don't need those kind of problems, mate.
Dude, the man is huge.
And also, but like a proper wrestler. Like a DC is actually a wrestler, right? He will pop your shoulder out. Yeah,
and then not put it back. And walk
he is one
away.
of the baddest humans walking on this planet. Jake Paul, don't need those problems. But listen, he's good at what he does, bro. He's in the art of marketing,
He's
guys.
very smart. You know what he did? Because I follow him on Instagram. When I woke up, I went onto Instagram to go through the feed, and I saw that he had posted a story. He was in the arena.
Yeah.
And all the news headlines said that Jake Paul had shown up to UFC 261, like he wasn't allowed to be there anyway. But he had Instagram storied himself trying to get the crowd to say F Jake Paul, and it worked.
Oh, yeah?
And everyone was chanting F Jake Paul.
Yeah,
the
I know.
whole arena. You know how smart that is?
Nah, he's the guy, bro.
Dude.
And I saw him sitting with one of the biggest figures right now, a guy called Antonio Brown. One of the greatest sort of wide receiver talents the NFL's ever seen. Again, he understands AB's place. AB gets people talking, and people are saying AB sitting with Jake Paul. They don't love that. But Jake Paul,
Smart.
winner.
UFC is coming to Africa in 2022. I was speaking to my brother. He said apparently Dana White, now that there's two African fighters that own or are holding world titles.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, someone had asked him about like UFC Africa and whether they would bring it here.
So that's the Style Bender and Usman, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he said they were looking at something for 2022, if I'm not mistaken.
Nigeria, both Nigerian, I think. So probably what? Take it to Nigeria, huh? Or
I mean, that would be ideal, but
where's UFC thinking of going?
it's all dependent on infrastructure. You need to fill arenas with UFC. South Africa has the dome. I'm just saying. We have the dome.
But why would the fighters want to come to South Africa? I don't. I mean, unless Dana's got a plan. Listen, Dana.
I'm just thinking infrastructure-wise.
Do you know what I'm thinking? Take it to the Nigerians. No,
Oh, I mean, you would make a killing.
no, VI. By the way, listen, I've been to Nigeria. I know it's got the reputation, but trust me, there are places just as nice as Sandhurst in Nigeria. Don't you worry about that. Victoria Island. If you ever go to Nigeria, it's called VI. Oh my God. Oh my God. So take it there. Take it to Nigeria. The fans are there. Dangote, get him involved. Africa's richest man. Build an arena and take the boys home. Are you kidding me? They'll fill out. Put in a soccer stadium. Yeah. But hey, as a South African, and I don't like UFC, but I would go.
Oh, I would 1,000%
I am
be
there.
there.
But then it's got to be a proper card. I'm not going if it's just the Style Bender against who. I need it to be a proper stacked card.
Well, you say that. I think this morning, if I'm not mistaken, Conor McGregor has spoken about Usman. So I think there's prospects for a potential fight. I'm not saying it's news.
Conor wants to fight Usman. No, he doesn't want those kind of problems. Conor, it's very nice being. It's hard. I mean, I heard somebody saying it's hard to have $300 million and get punched in the face.
But aren't there I mean, like before UFC became huge, I know there was a couple of stuff happening in South Africa.
Yeah,
in terms
EFC.
aren't there a couple of South Africa? I know there's a
Drickus is the guy now
Yes,
who's in.
yeah.
We've had Gareth McClellan on here. He fought Costa, and he said Costa was juicing.
Wait, what do you mean?
Yeah,
Like
that's what
roiding?
Yeah. No, he said because Gareth McClellan is a monster of a man,
Yeah.
and he said for a middleweight, there was no way Costa could be that strong and big.
Oof.
And Costa has been caught before, by the way.
My brother tells me there's also Don Madge and JP Base.
Okay.
Never heard of them?
Yeah, but I do know Drickus is in the mix there. I forget what Drickus' surname is. But yeah, maybe listen.
Duplessis.
As a South African, I'd love it. But for me, if I am Adesanya, right, Stylebender, why do I want to go to South Africa? I'd rather do it in Dubai or America. Why do I want to come all the way to Africa and not be in front of my people?
I think the prospect of Africa. Oh, no, but you're saying if you're.
No, I'm
sorry.
saying as the
Yeah,
fighters.
Yeah.
Like for me as Usman, Usman's Nigerian, huh?
Yeah.
Why would I want to go to South Africa? Like
You're fighting in Africa, bro.
Yeah, but also South Africans, you know how we are to the rest of the continent. We don't treat people well. For me, as if I'm Nigerian, I want to fight in front of Nigerians. Or like,
Yeah, no, I'm not saying South Africa is where it's going to be. I'm just saying, I think.
I would love it. But
Maybe
no,
yeah.
to be clear, hey, bring it here.
Yeah.
I'm not saying don't bring it. I'm just thinking as the fighters, I would lobby and go, no, let's take it to Nigeria. Plus, if I'm Dana, 400 million people or 60 million people.
Yeah.
But
Maybe-
again, South Africa has the money.
Maybe I'm just jaded. I'm thinking of like, Greenpoint Stadium, the Dome, like all of these arenas that are in South Africa that are huge.
Yeah, fair enough. Good point, James. Good point. Yeah. Hey, bring it here. Hey, I am
I'm all
there.
for it.
Listen, I am. You know, we're a big time sports show now. I want to be so close. I want to feel the blood hit my face.
Yes.
That's how close I want to be.
I want to feel like I'm actually being punched.
Yes. Yeah. As the sweat comes off Adesanya's brow as he breaks. He does that foot stomp thing. Oh, I love it. Have you seen it?
Yes.
Yeah, he stomps
Yeah.
on people's feet. He's excellent. He breaks your
It's
soul.
like the knockout punch from Usman this weekend. If you watched it in live action, which you say you did you see?
I
it
didn't.
was-
I said I got home in time, but I didn't watch the whole. I watched the replay.
It
No,
was,
it
like
nasty.
one of those movie scenes where like the guy gets punched and like water comes off his face.
No, it was-
But in live action, that's how solid that punch was.
I want to be that close. I wanted I want to feel Street's hair sweat actually hit me in the face.
Ew. Cool. Let's move on, shall we?
Let's.
I read a headline. Stop. I read a headline. I got to be quick now. But I read a headline on Friday about the Premier League Hall of Fame, and the Premier League starting a Hall of Fame. I didn't know it was going to be a huge thing. I thought it was like a we're in talks to do it thing. But I found out this morning that they've already had 2 inductees, Alan Shearer and Thierry Henry. I think both worthy of Hall of Fame positions. So yeah, very good stuff. I didn't know it was going to be brought in so soon. I just thought it was like we're looking at doing a.
They've been talking about it for a while now. It's a very American thing. I don't know. Europeans can never decide whether they want to copy America or not. I don't love it, but okay, whatever. Both worthy. Yes, top goal scorer of all time and the best player to ever play in the Premier League.
There you go.
That is the first 2 I'd put into. Yeah. So awesome. Awesome. The fact that we're doing it now, I'm a modernist. I embrace it. Awesome. Let's do it.
I think it'll be cool.
Yeah. Hey, expect controversy because now it's going to start. Probably the first 50, it's going to be like, of course.
Yeah.
And then it gets hairy.
Yeah.
Then who's voting? And then how do you get in? Does stuff you did off the pitch matter?
Yeah.
It starts to. Anyway, okay.
Last one before we go to the YouTubes and the tweets. Thierry Henry, Dennis Bergkamp, and Patrick Vieira. Small names in the world of football.
So not good at football, yes.
No, it's basically a group of guys that played for Arsenal.
No, not too bad at the soccer.
Teaming up with Spotify to launch over a takeover bid with Daniel Ek, who is the owner of Spotify. So the 4 of them want to launch a bid to take over Arsenal Football Club.
Love it. I'll tell you what the problem is don't ever change for the sake of change. Let me tell you something about Spotify. And people don't change. Hear that now. What have Spotify done in the podcast game? And I love Spotify. Hey, buy everyone. Spotify is trying to buy everyone.
Disney.
If Spotify take over Arsenal, the guy's already shown you what he does. Rogan. You know what I mean? Spotify want everything.
And when they're willing to pay 300 million for Rogan,
they want everything. Why do you think he'd change his behavior if he was at Arsenal? Why wouldn't he want more money? Why wouldn't he want the ESL? He's a billionaire. Stop it. Do you think that's a change? This idea that only John W. Henry, as a billionaire, would want more profits. Folks, if you're going to replace a billionaire with a billionaire, up front, you're on honeymoon. Everything's great on a honeymoon. Everything's great on a honeymoon. And then you get home and you got to pick up their socks on the floor. It is real life. Billionaires are billionaires. Stop it. It's going to be about money.
Correct. Right, the YouTubes.
All right.
Andrew Harrison says, make no mistake, Liverpool lost. They did. They did. You are correct, Andrew.
Yeah.
Ali Beloy says, but Jose lost an FA Cup against Conte 3 years ago. Don't think if he wasn't sacked, they would have won. I think he's finished. Ali also says, I don't think they knew that they're really choosing FIFA and UEFA. They thought they're preventing the closed league.
Everything comes at a price in life, folks. You eat a McDonald's burger. I know you enjoy it while it's in your mouth, but it is going to your hips. Everything in life comes at a price. You can't say because we didn't choose the billionaires, nothing else happened. No. Every action has a reaction. By not choosing the billionaires, you chose FIFA. Don't do that. Don't try and get out of that.
A moment on the lips.
A lifetime on the hips.
A lifetime on the hips.
So, Ali, I like how you want your cake and you want to eat it. These are the people who want low-carb cake.
That should eat a cake in one sitting.
It don't happen. I'm afraid, Ali, I do... Ali's being very diplomatic, but I'm afraid not. Not how real life works.
Barrett says, hey, James and Vilela, dropping in to say howdy.
Mr. Edelston.
How you doing, Barrett? Zapeta says, MKT, you should understand people are afraid of change, or rather the devil they know, being UEFA and FIFA. They were sold the idea that their billionaires, which was the Super League, will ruin the game.
Fair enough. Hey, listen, I said I compared that. I used a more brutal example, but Zapeta, clearly a smarter, more diplomatic, more intellectual man than me.
There you go.
We are stuck in a relationship that we know is not good for us. Fair enough. Or rather the devil, you know.
Kutle says they are called socios.
Socios, indeed. That is, those are the people that are the Real Madrid owners. Part ownership. Yeah. So Florentino Perez does not own Real Madrid, just so people know this. It is owned by the socios. There are only 2 clubs. I forget, is the other one Bilbao? Anyway, there's another club. There's only 2 clubs, I think, left in the whole of Spain that are allowed the socio model. It's actually illegal to have a professional club owned in the model of Spain, or in Real Madrid, and is it Atletico Bilbao, Real Sociedad? Maybe not. Anyway, one of those clubs. So yeah, the socios own Real Madrid. You pay a membership fee every single year, and that is, it brings its complications. But anyway, socios.
Jesse says 3 Invincibles and the Spotify owner wants to buy Arsenal. Do you guys think the Arsenal fans can get Stan Kroenke out?
No, you cannot.
Probably not.
He's a billionaire. He doesn't care about your opinion.
Lol.
Not just Jesse's. I just mean, no, he won't leave. He knows. Football is actually in its infancy of creating profits around the world, just so people know. So no, absolutely. Why? If I'm a billionaire, there is no way I'm leaving British football. You know what you do? Just never come to England again and let your son run it and take the heat. That's what I'd do if I was Kroenke.
Do it, Kroenke. Do it. Jesse also says Usman knocked the out of Masvidal. Dana White is planning somewhere UFC in Africa 2022.
Smart. Yeah.
Very cool stuff. Jesse also says, Mlelo, I wouldn't mind you giving my kids relationship advice.
Oh my God.
I would.
Yeah. No,
I would mind
good.
that. Jesse,
careful what you wish for.
Not the move. I promise you.
It isn't.
I can promise you that. I've had way too many afternoons where I'm leaving and then relationship advice comes in and it's not the move.
Oh, I wouldn't be giving you advice, James. I'd be asking questions.
You did.
Yeah, I ask questions. I don't give advice. I ask questions, yeah.
You asked many. I was stuck in the
Do
Bermuda
not
Triangle.
take relationship advice from me. I am the world's most single human being.
It's true.
So do not
It's true.
take relationship advice from
And it shows.
Yeah.
There's 3 African champs. You forgot about Francis
Ngannou. Listen, Francis Ngannou's fists are the size of a fridge. The guy is incredible. He has got cinder blocks for hands. Quite correct there, Jesse Randolph. Oh, Ngannou. Mate, knocked the hell out of Stipe Miocic a couple of weeks ago.
Jesse also says, I love how you guys answer all my questions before you read them.
Oracle.
We know things. Jesse lastly says, it doesn't matter if it's about money. What matters is the owner's ambition with the team. They must want to win. Very good point. I have 2 more things. I'm so sorry. On Twitter, Tristan says, so happy the fans are back in sports. The UFC also had fans back for the first time, and it was amazing to watch. Watching sport on TV with fans makes it a great experience.
Can't add to that. Well said, Tristan.
Really, really great stuff. And then Tristan also asked me, he sent me a WhatsApp. Can you explain the 50+1 rule? In his words, just saying, in his words, he said, I'm dumb. So those were his words. He called himself dumb. I'm not the worst Ilsley. I'm just saying. Anyway, take it away.
Seems to be a family trait. Sure. 50+1, it means an organization, a billionaire, a company can only own 49% of the club. The other 51% is owned by the fans. The fans have to pay a club. You have to pay a fee per month. That is capped, by the way. So it's not any Tom, Dick, and Harry that can come and be a member owner. Sometimes members have to move out in order for you to move in. So all it means is 49% is the most a club can be owned by a Roman Abramovich, hypothetically. And what that means is the 51% is so the fans get to decide. If they're not happy with the manager, they can go vote him out. They can have a say in club affairs, club colors, club logos, etc. So 51% of every German club, except those which had the 50+1 exemption. Wolfsburg, Hoffenheim, Munchen is the other, because they had already had people investing in the club for more than 20 years. Bayer Leverkusen is the other one. That is owned by Bayer, the great, not great. Sorry, I take great back, but they are the big chemical company, Leverkusen or whatever, Bayer. I think it's Bayer, the Bayer, they are big medical, medical company.
So they've got a couple of monies.
So they own Bayer Leverkusen, and they got the exemption because they'd been investing I think it was started by bio workers as well. So,
so like,
the exemption was
VW with
yes,
Volkswagen.
VW. Yeah, the exemption was that or 20 years, and you had to, when they brought the rule in. I think it was I forget when it was, but anyway, 68 is when they went professional. But if you'd been investing for 20 years prior to that, then you don't have to stick to the rule, which is why Bayern Munich's so far ahead.
Good stuff.
Alrighty.
That is social media with James.
James. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, MKT here. This is the MKT Show. Remember, you can find the podcast on cliffcentral.com, Cliff Central app, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. The MKT Show on there for today. Good Monday. No show tomorrow. People are feeling free. Apparently, it's Freedom Day.
It is. It's not apparently, it is.
All right, well, South Africans, get back to work. I mean, like, we need more holidays. But anyway, enjoy your freedom. Obviously, a rather landmark day in the history of South Africa. So I guess it represents something important. Doesn't need to be a public holiday, but okay. Here we are. We find ourselves here. South Africans work too hard. That's our problem.
We do.
Yeah.
We
work too hard.
exceptionally hard.
We work too hard. That's just unbelievable. All right. James, no show tomorrow.
No show tomorrow. Makes me kind of sad. I do enjoy doing shows.
No, cool.
I do.
No, me too. All right, but for today, I've enjoyed this. I've enjoyed the show. I've enjoyed being with James. James, look after yourself. Tomorrow is another day. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is MKT. This is the MKT Show. Yes, the show is named after me, and I am the hell out of here.